corporation, it's a very large company. It's been family owned and operated since 1920. They just celebrated 100 years of business. And they are comprised of 42 brands. That includes river cruises, boutique hotels, land vacations. As cruisers, you might be familiar with one of their brands, Uniworld. That's their luxury river cruise product. But one of the reasons why I bring up 42 brands is because of the reliability and the infrastructure that that brings. So, should anything happen, say a bus breaks down or anything, they have a very large infrastructure in place to make sure that you're always taken care of. So just a couple other things I'll mention about the company as a whole is they partner with the nonprofit Tread Right, which focuses on sustainable travel for the people, communities, the wildlife, for the destinations that they go to. And also they have a focus on being driven by service. And this is widespread across all of their brands. So what are their brands besides Uniworld? I'm going to briefly touch on 6 of them. The first one is their largest and most popular brand, and that's Trafalgar. So Trafalgar is the world's most awarded travel brand. They have been running tours for 74 years. They have hundreds of premium itineraries across 7 continents. Let me take a pause. What do I mean by premium? So when we talk about premium tours, I am talking about 4-star hotels. So for example, you may be staying in a Hilton or a Sheraton. You have quality meals and you're going to have tours in each location. If we had to compare this to a cruise line, just to get a general sense, this is going to be equivalent to your celebrities and princesses in terms of quality. Trafalgar also has immersive experiences. They're called Be Our Guest experiences, where you'll be invited to someone's home or estate for a special experience. So for example, the photo that you see on the bottom right, that is from a Be Our Guest experience in Tuscany, where you're invited to dinner at a 15th century organic olive oil estate, where of course you'll do tastings and dinner, but you're also going to learn about the family and the history and about the estate. It's a very intimate and really unique experience. At this point, I know a lot of you are probably wondering, what is the difference between Trafalgar and Globus? So I want to touch a little bit on this. Both of them are established, they're reputable, they offer premium itineraries, they use similar hotels. Both of them I would compare to a celebrity or princess in terms of quality. But in general, because the inclusions are going to be so similar, it's really the itinerary that is going to help you decide. So say perhaps you're looking into 2 similar itineraries in Italy, and Globus includes lunch at a winery, while Trafalgar includes lunch at a local farmhouse. It's really up to you as to what your preferences are. And in most cases, the itinerary is what will determine which one you prefer. So let's look at an itinerary for Trafalgar. All right. Best of Ireland and Scotland. This is a pretty thorough trip. And it's one of Trafalgar's strong suits, the British Isles in general. Some highlights I'm going to point out is that during the tour, there is one of those Be My Guest experiences in Ireland. It takes place in Killarney at the farmhouse that is pictured in the bottom right. So you'll meet the family, you'll learn about their farm, and then you're going to sit down to a meal at their farmhouse. Then later on in the tour, as you continue up into Scotland, you'll visit a whiskey distillery. It's pictured in the upper right for a tour and a tasting. And it's pretty unique just because it's a single malt whiskey that's specifically from the Highlands. You can't really get that specific type of whiskey anywhere else. So this is the end of Trafalgar as a brand. And lastly, I just want to touch on a few more of our favorite brands of the 42. There are many, but I'm just going to touch on a few of them. So first I want to point out African Travel and Brendan Vacations, which are both destination specialists. African Travel is one of the top luxury travel companies in Africa, and Brendan Vacations is a premium tour company that specializes in Ireland, and Scotland. So if you're interested in either of these destinations, I would highly recommend these companies in particular. For Insight Vacations, this is a premium product, so it's going to be similar to Globus or Trafalgar, but it has an emphasis on authentic and immersive experiences. So say, for example, in Vienna, you are likely to take a dance class or go to a concert of classical music. In Italy, you'll have dinner at a local vineyard, or one of my favorites is in Croatia, you actually go sailing with a oyster farmer. So you kind of, roll up your sleeves and really have an authentic experience in each place. I will also mention that as we all get kind of more interested in close to home travel, at least for the moment, Insight Vacations just recently introduced a new tour style. It's called Escapes. And they're especially made for Americans that don't want to travel abroad at the moment. So they're available in 3 states, Arizona, Hawaii, and Louisiana. And they're shorter getaways, but they still have the immersive style of Insight Vacations. So the next one I'll talk about is Cost Saver. As the name implies, it's a more budget-friendly option. The hotels are going to be 3 to 4 stars, and there's less inclusions during the tour. What does that mean? So the essentials are taken care of: your transportation, hotels, some meals, and an introductory city tour in each city. But the rest of the time is up to you. You can add optional experiences or just explore on your own. So it's much more flexible. And even without considering the budget aspect of it, some people just actually prefer this setup because the itinerary is less rigid and it allows for more free time. It's a personal preference. And lastly, I'll talk about luxury goals. So as you might guess, this is a luxury product. This is going to be comparable to, say, an Oceania or even a Regent Seven Seas type of cruise. The hotels are going to be 5-star properties. Actually, the photo that you see there is one example. That is the Ashford Castle in Ireland, which has been converted into a 5-star hotel. And it's one of the properties that you might stay at on a luxury gold itinerary. Their tours include VIP experiences, exceptional dining, and by exceptional, I mean that many of the tours include a meal at a Michelin-star restaurant. And just in general, the inclusions will be there. The beverages, the gratuities, the airport transfers. It will be a much more inclusive package. So like I said, these are just a few of our favorite brands from the Travel Corporation. And if you want more information about any of these or any of the others that I didn't go over, you can reach out to us or your personal vacation manager, and we can provide more information.